They zip-tied kids during an ICE raid. Watch how this debate explodes when Scott Jennings and Lathan go head-to-head.
And so Tren de Aragua is a violent transnational gang. They send illegal immigrants here to the United States. They traffic drugs, they traffic people, they commit violence. They inflict misery everywhere they go. And 37 people were arrested. That was the purpose of the raid, the targeting of Tren de Aragua, some of the most violent people in our hemisphere. And when they come here, nothing good happens. That was
okay, so if it was targeting, I don't think anybody has a problem with targeting. Right. When you clear out an apartment building and you zip-tie children and you arrest and detain everyone. Scott, hold on, Scott. You and me, we're talking here, okay? If they arrest children, they arrest everyone, citizens and non-citizens, for hours, detain them, deprive them of their liberty for no matter how long. You are fine with that.
They didn't arrest children. But
I didn't say they arrested them. They put them in zip ties. But if that makes a difference to you, go ahead.
Here's what makes a difference to me. If the federal government knows that there is a nest of Tren de Aragua in a city like Chicago, they have a responsibility. They have an obligation to go get them. It is unfortunate, to answer your question, that there are children put in harm's way by these violent gangs. But that is going to be the reality.
Or is it unfortunate or is it a violation of their rights is the question. Because, I mean, in this country, we have rights against searches and illegal searches. You're suggesting
these children should be effectively human shields for Tren de Aragua, and I don't agree with that.
Hold on, I want to make it clear. I know that Tren de Aragua and gangs and whatever, it's a catch-all to treat people however you want, to go in there and shred the Constitution or whatever else it is that you want to do. What I'm asking you is this. Do you think that children should have been zip-tied and pulled out of an apartment complex and traumatized like that? Yes or no?
I don't think children should be put in harm's way by transnational gangs.
Just answer the question. Yes or no? Do you think that children...
I don't accept the premise of your question.
I'm asking you
government's not putting children in harm's way. Tren de Aragua...
Real calm now. Real calm. Like
they're the ones putting children in harm's way.
Gentlemen and gentlemen, we have a responsibility for the way we treat people with the power that we have here in America. And we have a standard that we should treat human life with. And I'm asking you very clearly, concisely, should children be treated that way? Does Scott Jennings like that?
I don't accept the premise of your question.
All right, cool.
I don't believe that the premise of your question is accurate. I would ask you back. Should children be allowed to live in an apartment building with Tren de Aragua? Should the entire community of Chicago have to live with Tren de Aragua because they hide behind these children?
But here's the thing.
That's my question.
I think the answer to that is clear. No, they should not be put in harm's way. But the difference is in this situation is I don't want to be Tren de Aragua. I don't want my law enforcement to act like Tren de Aragua. That is the distinction.
You don't want to leave it? Do you just want to leave it and say, well, they have kids in there, let's just move on?
No, we can't law enforcement figure out a way. I don't think this is the first time children have been in an environment where dangerous people have been around them. And I'm most certain that in most of those circumstances, those children aren't zip-tied and carried out like animals. What I am wondering is, okay, let's put this fact pattern on any other placement. Let's put it on a school, right? What if there was a gang member in a school? And by this calculation, it would seem like the children in the school, in order to get that one gang member or two gang members, would get...
It's not one gang member. It's 37 people in the apartment building.
It's a large apartment building. That's part of the fact pattern here. I mean, here's another one. From our reporting, tenants said it appears everyone in the building was detained by federal officers, including U.S. citizens. It was scary, said one, because I had never had a gun in my face. That person lives in the building. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? I told them, no, I didn't. Fisher, this person says, she was handcuffed anyway before being released around 3 a.m. and was told anyone with outstanding warrants, even if it was unrelated to immigration, would not be released. So people live in apartment buildings all over this country.
I promise that.
Should I just go to an apartment building and hide?
I'm talking about the way that citizen of this country was treated. By the way, I just want to be clear. I think that everybody that's created in the image of God should be treated with respect. And I thought that part of the American ideal was that, but that's gone. I promise y'all will still be invited to Mar-a-Lago if you say that it is wrong that children were zip-tied and that American people, American citizens were detained without any warrant or suspicion.
Briefly detained in
How long is
in an effort to get 37
You mean
Tren de
okay,
Aragua members?
So tell me. So
You-
real
what
quick,
you're
tell me
suggesting
how
is
long
that no
is
enforcement
How long is that?
You're
Are you?
suggesting no
Would you be
enforcement
okay
can
with
take place.
detained so that the gang members? Would you be okay with your rights being violated and you be held until 3 a.m. with your family?
Tell me how long is that?
knowing why? Is that okay? Because that's not okay with me.
Everybody here seems to believe that if you're Tren de Aragua, you can go hide in an apartment building, and because there are other people there, you just have to be left alone. That is not a reasonable enforcement position.
There's another option here, and it's actually an option that's utilized by law enforcement every single day in this country. When they are looking for violent people, they go look for those violent people. They do not subject the people around those violent people who have nothing to do with them with arrest, with guns in their faces, with being searched, with being zip-tied and handcuffed and detained. Every day in America, law enforcement does their jobs, and they don't do it like this. So why is suddenly this okay?
Every day in America, you're not necessarily dealing with the most violent people in the hemisphere.
Yes, overnight.
That's who is living on this.
Scott, there are violent people who are right here in this country, American citizens. They are in gangs. They were born here. Their parents were born here. Their
Oh, we
grandparents were
know.
born here.
Believe me, we know.
Those people are dealt with by law enforcement every day. Again, it's a real basic question. If you lived in an apartment building and there happened to be somebody who was guilty of a terrible crime in that building, and law enforcement barged in, guns blazing, and put every single person in that apartment building under arrest, you would be fine with that, including you and your
not
family.
everybody is under arrest. They arrested
fine with that.
37
Scott,
people. They arrested
Scott,
37.
This person,
You said everybody.
this
It's
person was
37
this
people.
person was sleeping in their bed, and they were detained. They were put in handcuffs and detained. Until
Neither
3
you
a.m.
nor I was there. You nor I were there.
No, I'm
But
just
I know
asking.
this. Now 37
You and your family,
violent
Scott,
people are now off the
Scott,
street.
Scott, you and your family, you are in an apartment building. You and your family, you would be fine with your liberty being held up, your kids, your wife, your children, being detained for any amount of time because somebody in that building was a criminal. You'd be fine with that.
You are vastly oversimplifying what's happening here. There are
I think
scores
sometimes
of
we have
illegal
to-
immigrants
I
in the
think
building.
sometimes we have to simplify things so that we actually
many of them are
understand
violent.
what we're talking about. Because I do think that this is a problem now for the rest of the country. People are going about their lives and they are not responsible for the crimes of other people. And yet in this world in which
And they're still
ICE is
not.
operating like this, they are being detained for other people's crimes. Willingness to accept a whole lot of collateral violation of rights of anybody, whether you're American citizens or not, because there are many rights in this country that are in the Constitution that it doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not.
That last line says it all. Rights are conditional. It doesn't matter where you're from. Due process doesn't vanish because there's a gang nearby. And the fact this even has to be debated, that's the real problem. If you like what you heard, click the like and subscribe button.